Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Monique, a remarkable individual whose journey through life is nothing short of inspiring. From her days of growing up in Memphis and moving to Mississippi for high school, to her thriving career in real estate and her dedication to fitness, Monique's story is one of perseverance, determination, and success. Welcome to the Thrive Tribe,
Oh
Monique.
my God, thank you for having me. That was such an amazing, description.
You like that?
I love it.
Okay. It's all you. I thought about you and I had you on my mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
I want to thank you for being the inaugural guest
Of
here.
course.
The very first guest here in the Thrive Tribe. So you're an official Thrive Tribe member.
Yes, till I die, honey.
There we go. We in this. So I want to dive into the questions.
Okay, let's do
start
it.
from the beginning, Monique.
Okay.
So tell me about your childhood memories, like your most fun childhood memories and the family dynamics that you had growing up.
Okay. Well, of course, I grew up. I had two siblings, two brothers. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Both my parents. My mom actually had me when she was 15 years old. So I essentially grew up with my mom because she was a teenage mom. And her and my dad are still together after all these years. And I look at them and I view them as being someone or a couple that I aspire to be. I mean, they've dedicated a lot of years together. They've had three beautiful children. And they have just been, the eye of my rock. So my childhood growing up in Memphis, of course, was nothing short of amazing. I had really fun times. I made a lot of friends. My family was very close-knit. And it has made me to be the woman I am today.
Okay. Would you say you're closer to your mom or your dad?
My mom, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I love my dad, but I don't like him.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Did your parents ever get married?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, they're
yeah.
married.
Mm-hmm.
What age did they marry?
They married. My mom, she was 27, and my dad was 31.
31. And
yeah.
what age did you get married?
At 23.
Okay.
Yep, I got married at 23.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kind of followed in her footsteps, I guess, in a way.
Well, you said that's the example that you use.
Absolutely, yeah. I just didn't have
a.
a kid at 15, but,
Well, we want to do better than
yeah,
our parents, right? And
right.
I'm pretty sure that they
want,
aspire
yes.
to have the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So about your childhood dreams? What did you see yourself? What's the first thing you wanted to do?
Well, I know when I was a kid, I mean, it hasn't changed now. I love animals.
Okay.
So I always knew, like, as a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I went to school. I did all the classes. But honey, it was hard. It was
Which class got you? You was like,
zoology and chemistry.
Okay.
Those two kicked my ass.
Okay.
I was like, nope, this is not for me. I love the animals. I'll see y'all on the other side. Because I wasn't about to do it.
Okay.
So, but that didn't change my love for animals. I still love them, still take care of them. Actually have two pets of my own.
What are their names?
Shelby and Bubbles.
Okay.
Yeah, we just had one. We had to put her to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, she was sickly. Her name was Izzy. Rest in peace, Izzy. But yes, we have two animals. And of course, I just knew that's something I wanted to do, something I was going to just dive into. And, sometimes the cards that life, deals you don't always play them. So I end up going a different route. And here you see me today, a successful real estate agent.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's the essence of this podcast, too, is to really talk about pivoting in life.
Right.
Because we have our idea of what success is.
Absolutely.
And life throws us a curve and say, that's really not for you. I want you to have that experience.
Right.
But that's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you really accept the fact of, like, this isn't for me as far as these classes are challenging?
Right.
How did you really come to a firm decision to say, hey, I'm not going to dedicate any more time to something?
Right. Well, it started like maybe right into my second year of college when I was just like, and I've always thought this, even before I got into college, that college essentially, in my opinion, I feel like it's something that is embedded in us to go through and do. Graduate high school, go straight into college. But if we look at society now, a lot of people don't even need a college degree to get ahead in life. So I kind of got that sense right when I was like in my second year of college that maybe I don't need this. Maybe I can go a different route. And kind of into that second year, it led me to be an entrepreneur. And it didn't start with real estate. It started with other ventures, business ventures right before real estate.
Okay.
Even though I really wish I would have gotten into real estate right out of high school, but again, it just didn't happen like that.
Yeah, and so it's about sophomore year, and I can really relate to that because that was around the year I really hit a stride with my fitness journey.
Okay.
And so that was something I was just like, okay, I know for sure I can dedicate my life to this. And everything else, like you said, it was programmed that you go to school, you finish in 4 years.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is a great community. I appreciate the resources.
Right.
But the way it's set up is just not for me to maximize right now in my life.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I really see that with you.
Yeah.
You're just like, I can go out here and create my own future.
Absolutely.
Of how I want it to be,
Right.
becoming an entrepreneur.
Right.
Are there particular events in your childhood that inspired you to have fitness goals or to want to look a certain way?
In my childhood, I would say I didn't well, actually, I've always been athletic. I mean, I was on the cheer team. I ran track in middle school. And I just feel like with that being in my background as being, athletic in middle school, it carried with me into my, adulthood.
Okay.
So it was something that it made me feel good. It was something that made me look good, build that confidence that I didn't have, in those younger years. And it's just something I wanted to maintain throughout my years of adulthood. I wanted to look a certain way, and I'm not at my 100% goal now, but the thing is, I know that the work that I put in is going to ultimately lead me to my main goal.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I really do, because it's so relatable.
Yes, for sure.
And again, going back to the fitness journey that I have, people assume that I played sports or was athletic.
You're definitely giving, that you played plenty of sports. 'Cause, honey.
So it definitely gives that.
Yeah.
And that's the power behind showing my before and after picture.
Right,
with,
right.
Transformation.
And that looks nothing like you. I would have never imagined, before I had met you and I saw that picture of you, I wouldn't believe that was the Jarvis that I'm sitting next to today.
Wow.
Like, that's so inspiring. Like,
Wow.
I cannot believe it. And people, are going to critique and say things, oh, no, he didn't do this. But I've seen the work. I've heard of the work that you've put in to get to the point you are now.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you know how I'm always complimenting you, telling you, like, you look damn good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got me blushing all on here. Okay, so I want to talk now about growing up in Memphis City schools. Because, when we grew up, it was Memphis City schools and it was Shelby County schools.
Absolutely. It was a difference
It
between
was
the
a
two. They weren't in
difference.
the same line.
Right, exactly. And so, really, talk to me about, like, your experience of growing up in Memphis, being around the kids. What was that experience like?
Man, Memphis City School. So I went to Memphis. I didn't go to Shelby County. I was Memphis City School.
Yes, ma'am.
It was definitely one of the ones, like, I feel like the most happiest times of my childhood. Growing up in Memphis City Schools, it was definitely a night and day difference from Memphis going over to DeSoto County, which is in Mississippi.
Okay.
No one really held you up to a certain standard. Like, everyone accepted you for who you were. Things were a lot more fun. I mean, we were able to go to the candy lady up the street. We were able to drink our water at the water hose. We were able to go to the park. And it was just like everyone in the community, when I was going to Memphis City Schools, they were like a family. I didn't look at anyone as a stranger, and I just kind of embraced everyone. Totally different feel when I got to DeSoto County. Of course, majority of the kids were Caucasian. It wasn't very many black children.
Wow.
So, of course, when I got in, it was a complete cultural shock, coming from Memphis City to DeSoto County. And I remember getting into, altercations with some of my fellow students at DeSoto County about race, about black and white. I mean, I remember being set out in the hallway because I couldn't self-control myself.
Wow.
When it came to standing up for who I am. And I would have my friends and some of my people that I knew at DeSoto County. I don't know why you're arguing with them. You look just like them. I said, that has nothing to do with it, but I'm not one of them.
Right.
I am a black girl. At the time, I was a black girl, and I wanted to let those kids and those teachers know this is who I am, and it's not going to change. Yeah. So, being in Memphis City Schools was definitely the highlight of my childhood. It definitely took a sharp turn when I got into DeSoto County, but I don't regret a thing.
Good. And what schools did you go to?
DeSoto Central.
No, I'm sorry.
Memphis City Memphis. It was Lanier. It was Garden View Elementary. It was Whitehaven and Elementary. A Maceo Walker Middle, and then Lanier.
Yeah. Okay, real Memphis.
Real Memphis.
I love it. And I love to hear that story of thriving in Memphis.
Yes.
Because we don't get the best rep for our
We don't.
socialization.
We don't, or the credit. Yes.
All of that in our schools. Okay. What were some adversity or some challenges you overcame? Like, I know you had really good experiences
Right.
in school, but what would you say were some things that you had to really overcome as a child, like growing up in school?
Okay, growing up in school, I remember it, like it was yesterday. I was one to be bullied. I was bullied all throughout my middle school year, the first couple of years, and that was very hard on me. It actually carried with me, in high school. But of course, overcoming that, I just basically had to reprogram my mindset to say, this is normal. Kids, they are bullied. I mean, this is something that happened then, it's happening now, and it's going to continue to happen. So as time went on and as I grasped the concept that, I'm going to be okay, I'm not going to have to withstand this forever, I was able to actually push through and make it and graduate and finish out my cheer. I was on cheer, finish out my cheer rep, go ahead and graduate and go on to the next school, and then was happy about it. Wow. And I apply that same concept to life, just changing your mindset to look at certain things differently to where you can actually overcome, because it doesn't, the negativity doesn't last forever. It's going to always be a light at the end of the tunnel.
And like I always say, that adversity is kind of a secret ingredient to success.
It is.
Because when you overcome it, you transform.
Absolutely.
You're able to think differently, and it's not a mountain anymore.
No.
You're like, hey, I can get over that.
Absolutely.
I know how to take my time to get over it.
Right.
Yeah, that's huge. And you just never know who battled what in their childhood.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
why I talk about it so much.
Right.
Because it shapes us.
It does.
It shapes us, how we act, how we respond, our relationships. And I was watching this gentleman speaking. He was talking about how he had his baby picture on his phone. And he said, I keep my baby picture on my phone because I want to remind this little kid why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I want to make this little kid proud, because there was a lot of times this little kid had pain that I neglected.
Right.
And this little kid now resents me, and I have to work on this relationship every day with this little kid to make sure that they're happy. And I thought that was so powerful.
That is so powerful, because the little kid is him.
Yes. Yeah, nurturing your inner child.
Absolutely. I love that.
That's a key for me. Like when I talk about high school or middle school or childhood adversity, my weight, for me, the way I viewed myself, I never viewed myself confident at that weight. I always had an idea of how I wanted to look.
Wow.
And so,
even as a kid,
because at the age of 5, I think kids start to recognize, social norms.
Yep.
And why you got to be like this, or even with my sexuality, they're like, why you got to talk like a girl, or why you got to do this, and then you're dealing with weight insecurities on top of that. It's just like, how do I really navigate this space?
Absolutely.
And and not having the tools to do that.
Right.
And that's another reason why I really cultivated this environment.
Absolutely.
So that we can really talk about real experiences that people have.
Yeah, the unknown, the untold, because these are silent struggles that a lot of kids and even adults, they have to deal with.
Yes. All right, moving on to family and love life. Okay, so you are a married woman.
Yes.
So what is your husband's name, and when did you meet, and how did y'all meet?
Okay, my husband's name is Blair. We have been together for 14 years. Nice. Seems like an eternity. We actually I met him when I was in high school. He was a little bit older than me.
Okay.
So I was 17, and he was 21.
Okay.
So he's a little bit older,
We had a little interesting little situation for a minute.
We did. I remember our friends used to joke about it. They would be like, dang, man, she was in kindergarten, you was in 8th grade. One of them, like, bro, it was not even that long ago, but, whatever.
Okay.
So, we actually, been together, like I said, we've been married 8 years. And out of that, we had a beautiful daughter who is 11. She's a rat sometimes. No, I'm joking.
What's her name?
Her name is Briley.
Yes,
Briley. I wanted to keep the B. His name is Blair, and I wanted to name her a B. Just, keep their little B legacy going on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Marriage definitely, is something that I wanted as a kid as well. And here I am. Like I said, I wanted to be, kind of like the shadow of my mom and my dad, raising their children together, teaching them all the things that they can, sharing knowledge, and just pretty much wanted to be an epitome of that.
Yeah, and that's the way our culture is kind of set up. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Our society is set up like that. And I have this conversation all the time as far as being homosexual, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to really dissociate like our parents because that's a heterosexual example.
Yes.
And it's just the conversation looks different, and the acceptance that there's two different different people.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can honestly see how that can affect your perception,
for sure,
your decision making, what good looks like,
right?
And
absolutely,
all of these
absolutely. It starts at home. So
with your introduction to movement, with fitness and exercise in middle school, did you keep that up in high school?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I did. It just started in middle school. Okay, but it went all throughout high school and of course adulthood.
Exactly. So that goes to my next question.
Yes.
So how did you really manage your health, like in your fitness journey with becoming a new wife, a mother? How did you navigate that space?
Well, of course, it wasn't a consistent, thing for me. It was something that, of course, I would do, of course, in between time. I know when I actually got pregnant and, I got married, I did tend to slack off a little bit, of course, with that because, you're dealing with a lot of new things. I've never had to experience being a wife. I never had to experience being a mom. So I kind of put my fitness goals on the back burner to take care of those things that were right in front of me at the time. But it was something that was still in my heart. It was something I was never going to let go. And so I just wasn't as consistent as I would have liked to be. I would find myself doing home routines or home workouts to just kind of keep up with the gist of things because I really couldn't find time to actually go to a gym or go to, a park to get, my actual workout in. So I did fall off. I know for that first couple of years when my daughter was born, being as consistent as I would like. But things, of course, picked back up, once I was able to get in the groove of things.
Did you have any prior knowledge of nutrition when you were?
No, I did. Not as a kid.
Okay.
The nutrition, I was just normally pretty much, I knew that in my mind you had to eat certain things, and that was a huge part of actually your fitness goals, but it just didn't really resonate with me as being something that was really serious until I got until I became an adult. So actually when I got older and I was able to obtain these books and look on the internet a little bit more and learn more things, that's when I actually grasped the concept that yes, this is just as important as working out and being fit.
So that's two of the pillars.
Okay.
So let's move to mobility.
Yes.
So when did you start incorporating like stretches and warm up and cool downs?
When I met you.
Oh.
No, I'm
pretty much. Listen,
pretty much, because baby,
we're gonna go through the 4 pillars.
For real, because honey, when I met you, it was like a stretch like no other. Do you hear me? I was sore for a good 3-4 days. I said, damn, I haven't moved these muscles.
You haven't.
I really haven't.
I know.
I was like, sheesh. But so yes, when I can say that truthfully, because again, I didn't incorporate that because I've had a trainer here and there before, but they never really honed in on mobility and stretches. It was more so like, let's just get in here, let's make it work, and let's work out, lift these weights, whatever, because I always had one goal in mind when I was throughout my fitness journey, and that's always to gain muscle and to become lean. Yeah. And I guess when I would speak these things, okay, they would say, all right, I know exactly what you need to do without incorporating the whole bigger picture of it all. Right. So, in which mobility, of course, being one of the pillars.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. And of course, realize like going through childbirth. First of all, I just want to applaud every mother.
Yes.
For like going through childbirth
because
your body is just totally changing, and after you give birth, you have to recover.
You do.
Right?
You do.
And so that's why I put recovery as a part of the pillars as well.
Right.
Because
that's just as important too.
Yeah, you got to restore the system.
You're right. Yeah. Right.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
I love that.
So let's talk about those trainers and your experience with like, what were your expectations? So you said I wanted to always gain lean muscle mass,
yes,
right?
Yes,
and so when you would communicate that to them, what would be the like result?
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, but I know a couple of the trainers that I actually worked with. It started off good, it started off professional, but then things, of course, tended to veer off, and that's what caused me to lose motivation and even working with the trainer. So I just felt that it was better in my space and at that time to just do the things on my own.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a lot of things that I don't know, and I still don't know, and I'm still learning about the entire journey, and again, all the pillars that it takes to be able to achieve the goals that I wanted to. So I actually, when I think it was maybe 4 years ago, I decided to leave a trainer that I had for a couple years and go into a new trainer, and I feel like she was one of the best trainers I ever had because she was able to teach me some things and do things that I had never done before with my previous trainers.
Nice.
Yeah.
And she was your first female trainer?
Yeah, she was.
The other were
guys.
Okay.
Yes.
And did that make you feel more comfortable, like, or it was just her knowledge and just the
I think
way
it was just her
came?
knowledge.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like if, a guy or a girl, guy or woman, it doesn't really matter if you can maintain your professionalism and you can, actually cater to like my needs and my goals, then I feel like, I'm all in.
Okay.
But I just seemed like, the last couple, they just weren't, they just were my cup of tea.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you shared that because this is consistent feedback that I get from clients. And the experience that I've had, they were like, and this is before I recognized I had the 4 pillars. And I was just doing my practice, right? And so people was like, I just feel so comfortable. I feel like you answered all my questions and all of that. And I'm like, what was your experience like before you met me? And now it's like when I assess a client, like I never waste a client session 1 with discovery information.
Absolutely.
No, session 1 is going in with the implementation of a plan.
Right.
For you to get adjustment to it so we can make.
And that's what we want. That's what we need, as, consumers. We would like that.
Well, I feel like that's why I say fitness, that format for success is a baseline for success with anything. Right? So let's talk about how you got into real estate and what that journey was like and what you had to recognize about yourself that you had to kind of improve and things that you were just naturally good at.
Okay. Well, I've been a realtor for about 4.5, 5 years. It has been a wild journey, but again, nothing that I would regret. I mean, I love every bit of it. It's always just super, super, super chaotic. Okay. Literally meetings, you're dealing with multiple people, personalities. I mean, it's pretty much same with you when you're training your clients, you're dealing with multiple personalities. So you have to conform to each and every client a different way. And that's what I feel like makes myself and you unique because, of course, we're dealing with people and we're catering to them as a person one-on-one and not just the same, I guess, baseline for everyone.
Right. Exactly.
And it takes a strong person to do that, not to, give everyone the same treatment, treat everyone differently and accordingly. So I've applied that and I've actually learned that being a realtor because, of course, that's just kind of the whole big picture of what I do, making sure that I take care of each and every client individually. It's something that, like I said, goes back to what we said. I wish I would have got into it right out of high school so I wouldn't have to rack up all these student loans and take them hard-ass classes like zoology and chemistry that I couldn't pass.
No, that's real.
Seriously, like, that's real. So I'm like, it's just, and I feel like even with me having a degree, because I do have a degree, it's for business. Okay. And even with me having a degree and me working in human resources, like right out of high school, doing that, I still have never made as much money, even with my other businesses, HR, my degree, as what I have made in real estate.
Oh, wow. See,
with not having a degree.
Baby,
I've made the most money here in real estate. You're talking about, a huge amount monthly, sometimes. And again, real estate is not to where it's all glitz and glam and where you're making a lot of money. I mean, you have your months, your slow months where you don't make anything. It's 100% commission based. But you also have those good months to where you can, make up for those months that you don't have. So, and it's kind of dangerous for someone who's not really good at money management. Okay. Because you get so much at one time and you have to learn how to manage it. So There's still some things I'm learning as being a realtor. I mean, but my journey becoming a real estate agent was nowhere near as hard as going to school. I will say that.
Okay. So was it somebody, did you have a mentor or you just researched and jumped into it?
Jumped right into it.
Okay.
I've gotten so many people who've reached out to me to ask me to be their mentor when it came to that, because the first year in real estate, I won Rookie of the Year, multi-million-dollar club.
Nice.
It was like a First Horizon type deal to where like you're just a shining star. Something my company gave me. They made up.
That is
great. So
You-
it was just a lot of accomplishment in the first year.
So did that give you, were you just naturally like inclined to it, or you was just like, okay, I got my groove and I'm just gonna maximize? Like, where were you with that?
It seems like I just kind of jumped right into it. Like I feel like I should have been here all along. It was one of those things where I was in my comfort zone. You know, I have always been a people's person. I've always been a people's pleaser. Even as a child, I've been like that. So you could literally put me in this corner over here. I'll be talking to the wall.
Oh, wow.
And so I applied that, those personality traits within my career. And I feel like that has made me become the successful realtor I am today.
Yeah, getting into that light.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what Beyonce called it, Sasha Fierce.
Yeah,
You got your-
literally,
baby,
she got into that, like, she changed,
But
it
no,
changes.
you getting into your light, like, and I think people connect with that the most, because people always stop me and they say, I can tell that you really care about what you're saying.
Right.
And I was like, yeah.
Absolutely.
I truly do. I wouldn't be saying it to you.
Right.
You know.
And I get that.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. So
Thank you.
for the consumer side, what are some things that you would tell a person that's interested in buying a new, because I want to buy a condo.
Ooh,
right? I want a condo.
And you know who you're going to, right?
Absolutely. That's
okay,
what I'm
just
talking
making
to.
sure. Just making sure.
We in the thrive.
Okay.
Because I want to buy a condo.
Yes.
And so what are some things and tips that you would advise or, warrant me on, like, during this process so that it can be, successful?
Absolutely. The main thing I preach, because the majority of people that are buying homes right now are millennials, which we are millennials. I mean, we make up 47% of the buying pool.
Okay.
I mean, we're the ones out here buying all the houses. And our main thing that we struggle with is basically saving money. That's something that I have to tell my clients over and over and over. It's like I'm beating a nail in a hammer. Save money, because of course if you don't put money to the side, you're gonna buy this house, you're gonna pretty much drown in debt. You're gonna buy this house, you're gonna have all these extra bills that you didn't have before owning a home. You're gonna wanna fill it up with furniture, and things of that nature. So of course I encourage my clients to just make sure they're putting a nice nest egg up before they actually start this process. And that's not always the case that you need when you're buying a house, but you want to have that cushion in case anything happens. And of course your credit, that's the major thing. I know sometimes, we tend to, not really take our credit seriously until we're actually, in our early parts of adulthood. But that's the main thing that I encourage my clients to do, is to make sure that they're paying their bills on time, they're keeping their credit maintained. And if you have those two foundations, of course, you'll be able to do whatever you need to do to be able to purchase a home. Saving money and making sure your credit's in order.
Is the buying process different usually when you work with couples versus individuals that are buying homes?
Yeah, it is. When couples go, or I guess come to want to buy a home, they, of course, tend to want to use both their incomes, the husband and the wife, or the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Yeah. They want to use both incomes, but the gist about buying a home is he may have the better credit score and she may not have really good credit score. And guess whose credit score the lender's going to look at?
Hers.
Her credit score.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so even with him making six figures, he's got the good credit, he's good. I mean, he's the perfect candidate to buy a home. But then you have her over here who, she makes good money, but her credit is shot. They're going to take her score, and of course, they're going to use it, and it's going to disqualify you from getting a home.
Wow.
Yep, it's such a scam. I hate it.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that I always tell my clients, well, if we have a strong candidate here, you may not be able to get on the loan, but you can always be added to the deed in a future date. Let's just let him or her, whoever has the best credit and the best job and the most stable, get the home, and then just add you later.
Wow, no, that is so smart.
Yeah,
wow,
add you
wow.
later, because it's just something that they want. They're doing this together, so let's put both our names on it. So.
And then your job is to build the strongest profile for them.
Oh yeah, to make sure they can get what they want. That's the main thing. I'm not gonna put them into that they can't, that they don't like or that they don't want. I'm gonna make sure I cater to their needs. And again, that goes back to me saying how each client is different and each scenario is different. I just apply it that way.
Okay. Do you ever come with clients that have a beer budget but champagne taste?
Oh my God, all the time. No offense, future clients, but all the time, yes. But of course, I have to say it in a nice way to not offend anyone, to let them know I just kind of.
No, when I sold cars, they used to tell us, "What do you plan on accomplishing today?"
Really?
Absolutely. Like we can run a credit application, we could do a test drive.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Put down payment. Yeah. All of that. So yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Okay, what would you say was your proudest moment of being a realtor?
Just accomplishing so much in a short amount of time. I kind of shocked myself.
What do you call a short amount of time?
Like literally within like a 6 month to a year time frame. Okay. I know my first 6 months of real estate, ever tapping into it, I earned over 6 figures.
Ooh.
And just...
We're going to have to come apart, too,
on
that. Do you hear me?
First 6 months, I made over 6 figures. So I feel that I even shocked myself with that because I'm like, wow, I am really in my calling.
Wow.
And I know it's not all about, money and monetary, but it makes the world go round.
Come on now. You know what they say, money doesn't bring you happiness and it's not the root to all evil, but it is necessary.
It is necessary. Absolutely. It is. Right. Right. And I have been working all these other years not making that, so I just might as well get into something that I enjoy and can reap the most amount.
No, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you because how old are you, Monique?
30.
I see, that's so amazing. Like, I love that. You're inspiring to me.
Oh, thank you. You are too. I tell you this all the time.
I know, but I love to give you your flowers because ever since I've met you, you've always had your mind set on something. Or even for us meeting, you'll say, I was like, I think we should do this. She was like, okay, let's set up the date. Okay, we're going to do this.
Let's do it.
Like, we're not going to talk about it.
We're going to do it. That's me.
And I always got that energy from you. And that's just really positive energy.
Absolutely.
To go through life and to navigate things and having people in a community, because community support
it's a real
really
thing.
important when it comes to that.
Oh,
okay. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out in real estate? I know you said people ask you all the time, but just some advice on that.
Don't give up. Okay. I just really say anything in life worth having, you're going to have to work for it. I have my days now, as a realtor, a successful realtor, to where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. It's very daunting because I wake up every day unemployed. Okay. Literally, I wake up every day unemployed. So I actually have to get out there and work for my income.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I tell anyone that's thinking about or want to step into becoming a realtor to just, stay the course and and don't give up, because it's so easy to do that when, of course, you wake up every day and not having a set paycheck or income.
Wow. No, that's amazing.
Thank you.
What would you recommend a person do as far as looking for a mentor or looking for resources? Because you said you went through a lot of resources to come up with information. Right. So what would you say a person should do to look for a mentor to go that route?
Well, you can do your basic research as far as, looking into the person, looking into their background, what they've accomplished. Again, it goes back to, because you want to be the epitome of what you see someone mentoring you. You want to do the same that they're doing, or at least kind of go down the same stride. So, of course, just make sure you're doing your extensive research and you're also asking the right questions. And sometimes, within my situation, I can become a little busy because I am a wife, I am a mom, I am a realtor, I am a friend, I am a daughter. So I'm so many different hats to so many different people. So, just make sure that if the person that you're reaching out to or you're doing your research on, you're asking questions, don't take it to heart, because these people are, they have a life. And they're trying to maintain that life while also helping. So, of course, if you're going to do your research, make sure you have someone that can actually give you a little bit of time as well, outside of their busy lives. It's, being an important part.
Wow. No, I love that.
Yes.
So I really want to wrap things up with
Yeah.
this. It just came up with like a little topic in my head. And I really want to go through your day as far as like your nutrition and your kind of do like a snippet of a fitness assessment.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so just wake up, tell me about how you start your day till you go to sleep, and then I'll make some recommendations based off that.
Yes. Okay. First thing first, I do drink a protein shake as soon as I wake up.
Okay.
The protein shake that I drink, I think it has about 30 grams of protein in it and about 400 calories. And I use it as a meal replacement because sometimes I like to skip breakfast, or I will skip breakfast. And in between or after that, I'll have maybe a breakfast. I'll have maybe some eggs, a bagel.
How many eggs?
Probably about one egg. I have one egg.
Okay.
Yeah, one egg. I have me some fruit, maybe a bagel. But again, that's only on some days, not every day.
Okay.
The protein shake is every day.
Okay.
And then, depending on how busy my schedule is, you're going to get on to me about this, but I may skip lunch.
Okay.
And it's not on purpose. It's just I don't have time to eat. And then I'll end up having like a late lunch, maybe about 3:30, 4 o'clock, to where I eat something. And I may eat something like around 8 o'clock, maybe like some salmon, some vegetables, mixed vegetable medley, and probably a sweet potato or something of that sort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my biggest feedback to that is that your protein intake you could stand to eat more protein.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you're starting your day off very well because you're hydrating and getting protein. Right?
Okay.
Throughout lunch, it's going to be really crucial because based on what you've told me about how your day goes, you're using the bulk of your energy during midday.
Absolutely.
So that needs to be mostly fed.
Okay.
So you should definitely have like a carb with a protein and some healthy fats, like some mixed nuts with like a chicken wrap or something like that, something that's going to give you substantial energy.
Okay.
And I would just say try to create in your routine time blocks of 2 to 3 hours. So just say from 7 to 9 is an eating window. And then from 10 to 12 is a second eating window. And go so on and so forth.
I got you.
Because you're able to now incorporate on some type of schedule your eating, because you don't need your hormones to be all over the place.
Right.
You need that to be consistent.
Okay.
And then the last thing is just to be conscious of rest. And from when you're going from task to task, is to take a moment, decompress, reflect, breathe, and then move on to the next task, because you're a busy woman.
Right.
So we want that to have longevity with that.
Okay, thank you. Do you recommend meal prep?
I do.
Okay,
I do
for that.
recommend. I do recommend, because that's going to be a substantial way for you to, prevent and pivot throughout the week.
Okay.
And you'll have a dependable source of food rather than having to guess.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
So Monique, how do the people find you if they want you to do their, real estate services?
Absolutely.
All of that. How do they find you? Let them know.
Okay. Well, guys, you can find me on Instagram at Monique Walker. It's just literally spelled MONIQUE, and of course my last name Walker. You can also find me at my website monique.walker@remax.net. It has my website on there. It has my contact information, my email, whatever you need to contact me, you can find it on that website. And then, of course, my cell number, I can give you guys that. It's 662-804-9551. And you can immediately get me if you just call me. I'm always one call away.
Awesome. And you can continue to watch episodes of the Thrive Tribe podcast on YouTube under the Thrive Tribe podcast, Instagram, Thrive Tribe Pod. And just tune in, get ready to reconnect with us and for future episodes. So thank y'all, and thank you so much.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome.